Welcome geniuses, I'm Genie, your best buddy for A-levels. In this channel, we'll bring you to explore the secret formula behind success.
Okay, after we learn all the basic concepts that can be shown using a PPC, after understanding how the PPC works, let's look at a few multiple choice questions. Let's look at how we can tackle PPC multiple choice questions, okay? So if you need a longer time to think of the answer or whatever, you can just pause the video, okay? So you are given a couple of seconds to look at the questions. Now, the question is telling you whereby this country is producing manufactured goods and agricultural goods as shown in the diagram. And guys, before you go through the answer, they are asking which statement is definitely correct. Okay, now, in order to test your understanding or in order to enhance your understanding after learning any academic concepts or whatever, while you are facing the multiple choice question, write down all the information that you have learned. For example, T is outside PPC. You should know that T represents a situation called scarcity. Okay, and next, we also learned that when the point is on PPC, like this V, S, Q, they show, okay, full employment, which means your resources is fully utilized. And next, when you are at a point below PPC, it shows that you are inefficient. Why? Because you are not fully utilizing your resources. And lastly, guys, when you are on the edge of the X and Y axis, it shows a concept called specialization. Either you specialize in agricultural product, either you specialize in manufactured product. Okay, now let's look at the answer. First of all, they say if the country produce at Q, it has unused or inefficiently use of resources. You see, when you jot down the information beforehand to just test yourself or to revise or whatever, I can tell, I think you can tell also, actually, answer A is correct. But guys, just an advice for multiple choice question, although you feel that answer A is right, but please do spend a little bit of time to go through the other answer and confirm that the answer is wrong, okay? So let's do it. And the country should produce at T instead of Q, impossible, because T is scarcity, you cannot make it, okay? The country would be better off producing R than S. Okay, would be better off, meaning that if the country go for combination R, which is specialized in manufactured goods, it is better than combination S. First of all, how can you tell? How can you tell whether the which combinations will be best for the country? Secondly, guys, if you look at country R, if you look at combo R, the country produces only manufactured goods. But if you look at combination S, the country produces a mixture of agriculture and manufactured products. So, personally, I would say, without further context given, maybe this country is involved in trading, what kind of advantage they enjoy or comparative advantage or whatever, producing both allows your citizens to enjoy both goods. So therefore, we really cannot tell whether which point is better. You need more information to decide that, okay? So the monetary costs are the same to produce V as they are to produce R. So now guys, PPC basically shows you your productive capacity depending on your factor endowment, depending on the quality and quantity of resources you have. Therefore, PPC is not a cost curve. PPC cannot tell you what are the monetary costs incurred by any particular combinations of two goods. So it is out. Therefore, the correct answer is A. Let's move on. Okay, now let's look at this. First of all, when you see 4 straight line PPC, you should know that all 4 straight line is showing you constant opportunity cost. So when the PPC is straight line, it shows constant opportunity cost in all 4 ABCD situation, in all 4 contexts. Now, which economy has the lowest opportunity cost of producing cars? If you find this statement confusing, what you need to do is you just need to explain a little bit. If they say which economy is having the lowest opportunity cost of producing cars, meaning that you give up the least trucks for cars. So they give up the least trucks. Therefore, the opportunity cost of producing cars is the lowest. So you give up the lowest amount of trucks for every unit of cars produced. So what you need to do, if a math student, we can go for a shortcut way, okay? So what you can do is you can use ratio method. So the ratio of car to trucks, yeah? Okay, for country A, they can either produce 1 car or 1 trucks. So the ratio is 1 to 1, which means if you choose to produce 1 car, you give up 1 trucks. Next, for country B, it is 1 to 4. So 1 trucks to, 1 car to 4 trucks, meaning that by producing 1 car, you will have to give up 4 trucks. So definitely not country B if you compare with A, okay? Now, let's do all first, yeah? Country C either specialize 3 cars or 6 trucks. So 3 to 6, which means if you simplify 1 car, they give up 2 trucks. Okay, so this is country C. And lastly, let's look at country D, yeah? For country D, it is either 5 cars to 6 trucks. Then again, we break it down because we want to find out the opportunity cost of 1 car. So it's like 1 car to how many units? Yeah? 6 divided by 5 should be 1.2, but definitely it's more than 1 now, huh? So, okay, let's interpret this figure again, yeah? Based on this diagram, we can deduce where country A, they give up 1 trucks for every unit of car produced. Country B give up 4 trucks for every unit of car produced. Country C give up 2 trucks. And country D give up more than 1.2 trucks, just in case if I calculate error, okay? So, which country give up the lowest amount of trucks? A. So, A will be the answer. A has the lowest opportunity cost of producing car. Okay? And guys, I would like to teach you another method to confirm the answer. This can be done by drawing a line on the diagram. Okay? So I will enlarge the diagram now. Okay, let's look at this. And guys, I will use a highlighter. Okay, let me tune the highlighter thickness. Because they are asking 1 unit of car give out how many unit of trucks, right? Or the opportunity cost of producing cars to trucks, right? So what I do is I will just draw a line. Okay, this is not deep enough. And I think I use another brighter color. Okay, guys, you see, I draw a line passing through all 4 PPC. Okay, after I pass through all 4 PPC, let's look at country A. Yeah? So this is the opportunity cost of country A for this much of cars produced. Country B, oh, quite a lot, you can see. Country C, you see, yeah? And country D. So from here, from this kind of method, you can actually tell, okay, if you are doing the paper, you are given a hard copy, this is the way, okay, you can tell. So we can tell where like this country A has the lowest gap of trucks while producing that green gap of cars. That's how it works. That is what you can do with your diagram. That is a technical method that you can use in order to identify the correct answer or to check your answer. Okay, we move on. The last multiple choice question, yeah? Okay, the last multiple choice question is asking you, like, there are 2 PPC here, XX and YY, okay? And then they say, what caused a movement from XX to YY? Guys, in your exam, always draw arrow to remind yourself, to avoid making careless mistake. And guys, another point that I want to show you is, you see, they are just giving you the curve without any point, meaning that you don't know what is the actual output of 2 countries, okay? So you are just told that the curve moving outward, meaning that the country has a rise in productive capacity. And as mentioned just now, a rise in productive capacity is due to either quantity or quality of your resources. Okay, maybe you have a rise in quality and a rise in quantity. So let's look at the result. Let's look at the answer. Now, first of all, when you have a decrease in scarce resources, meaning that you have lower quantity, then actually your PPC should shift inward instead. So this is definitely not the answer. Okay, and next, a decrease in the cost of resources. Then with your available finance, you should be able to like okay, if you look at B, a decrease in the cost of resources. It seems like when the cost of resources is now cheaper, we could be able to buy more resources, maybe, I think. Okay. However, the productive capacity is constrained by quantity and quality of resources. Even though cost of resources is now cheaper, it seems like you can buy more, but not necessarily you can increase the quantity of your resources. Especially, they say, like, this is the context of productive capacity. So I repeat, yeah, although the resources might be cheaper, for example, the labor is now receiving lesser wage rate, but doesn't mean that you can have more labor in your country. Maybe you are already at the maximum amount of labor available. Likewise, maybe the price of rubber is now cheaper, the cost of rubber is now cheaper, but you're already at the maximum amount of rubber available. So still, this doesn't mean your quantity is changing. And this doesn't mean your quality is changing as well. So I will reserve this answer. I'll check the rest first here, okay? And moving on, oh, C is also kind of similar, but then C is confirmed wrong because they are a rise in the cost of labor. So meaning that you can access to less, your funds might be able to access to hire less labor. So definitely the PPC is not moving outward, okay? So this is out. And lastly, an increase in the labor force. Increase in the labor force meaning that you have more labor now, and meaning that this is directly increasing the quantity of your resources. So in this case, just now I reserved answer B, right? And with a reason saying that although the cost of resources might be cheaper, that doesn't mean that you can get more resources. And now with the answer D available, which is very directly linked to rising quantity of resources, then definitely answer D will be more appropriate. All right. Okay, let's try the last PPC questions, yeah? Okay. Now they say the diagram shows a PPC, indicates the combinations of consumer goods and capital goods produced by an economy using all their available resources. Okay, now guys, first of all, we identify point X as scarcity, as mentioned just now. And guys, I'd like to share with you one more extra knowledge based on this diagram, yeah? Now, capital goods refers to machines, all kinds of man-made resources. The production of capital goods will bring one benefit, which means it will increase your country's future growth. So in the future, with more capital goods being produced here, in the future, it will have higher ability to produce more consumer goods. So I repeat, yeah, if the country chooses to produce more capital goods now, then you will be able to ensure your future growth. So that is the benefit, okay? Likewise, consumer goods refers to those goods and services that consumers can consume immediately to derive or to gain satisfaction. So if government choose to produce more consumer goods, meaning that you are satisfying more wants, you are satisfying more consumers, and then deriving more satisfaction in total in the economy. And guys, if the government choose to produce more capital goods now instead of consumer goods, the benefit will be future growth. But the opportunity cost will be current satisfaction forgone. Because if you produce more consumer goods now, you can satisfy more wants, and then you can gain more satisfaction. Likewise, if the government have decided to produce more consumer goods now, the benefit is you satisfy more wants now. What is your opportunity cost? Your future growth forgone. Okay, so now let's look at the answer. The question is asking what position X indicate. Oops, this is easy. Position X indicates scarcity. So let's look at the answer one by one. Yeah, a lower ratio of capital to consumer goods is necessary to achieve economic growth. This one we cannot be sure of because first of all, you are not given any point indicating what is the country's current situation. So you are not told. And when we talk about economic growth, what kind of economic growth that you're referring to, actual growth or future growth, okay? So point X definitely doesn't indicate this kind of ratio. And increasing level of unemployment. Now, unemployment happens when you are not fully utilizing your resources. Increasing unemployment is shown unless, let's say in 2019, you are here. you are occupying or producing at this much. And then in 2020, you are here. So you are originally this point, moving to this point. Then you are producing less goods and services, meaning that you are leaving more resources unused. This indicates increasing level of unemployment. So from 2019, the point, move to 2020. This is what we call it increasing unemployment. So therefore, this is wrong. And X shows insufficient factors of production. Insufficient factors of production meaning that insufficient resources. So answer C is confirmed right, but still I check on answer D. Too many consumer goods are causing a fall in economic growth. How are we going to justify this with point X? Not really relevant. So that's why the answer is C. Okay. Now guys, if you want to try more PPC questions, you can just go to your past year paper. Okay. Almost every single year past year paper, paper 1, okay, you will see PPC questions. Good luck.
That's all for today's video. If you're interested in more genuine sharing by other geniuses, please subscribe to our channel and don't forget to turn on the notification bell, ding dong. Also, if you're struggling with 1 or 2 past year questions and the mark scheme just doesn't seem to help, Genie has got you covered. Feel free to let us know what question it is by filling in the Google form linked in the description below. GenieUs Hub will get genius teachers to fulfill your request for the solution. Genie will see you next time. Bye-bye.